Greetings, adventurers, and welcome to GrowedUpGeek Gaming, your home for narrative and roleplay focused Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition live play campaigns here on Twitch. It is Tuesday, which means we are here for our persistent long-term campaign, Eberron, Tranquility's Twilight. Tonight we present episode 10, Xandrar Awaits. Before we get to that, we will meet everybody, do a quick recap, and then jump right into a big episode tonight as we get very close to the season finale here for season 1 for us. Let's start with the intros. I am Manny at GrowedUpGeek on your social medias, Twitter, Twitch, Instagram, and YouTube. New videos are uploaded Monday and Tuesday afternoons. If you like what we do here, want to show your support for the channel, give us a like, follow, subscribe, high five, pat on the back, fist bump, whatever the platform calls for to show your affirmation. We really appreciate it. It just means a lot to us that people watch and really care and want to talk to us about it. Now that I'm out of the way, let us meet our amazing Tuesday cast. Great people, great role players, and hopefully none of them die in the next couple of episodes. Let us start. Let us start with the only person not corrupted by Elden Ring currently. Tenta, tell us about Masaow.
I'm Tenta. I play Masaow. He is a worshiper of a greater undead god of worms and is trying to bring about a new age of peace and enlightenment. And only way he knows how to bring that about is to protect these guys, and that's what he does. And I'm not caught up in Elden Ring because I hate Elder Scrolls and Demon Scrolls and all the I don't even know what they're called, because screw them. The only game I ever sold back to GameStop was Demon Souls. Ever.
Hot takes.
That's my stance, and I appreciate your guys' support.
Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. Let's see. Who can I pick a fight with, Sapardi? Landon, tell us about Kai and how Elden Ring has taken over your life.
So, first off, I will say I have beaten Elden Ring. I haven't done a lot of the side content. I kind of rushed from about the midway point. So no spoilers, but yeah, it was a great game. 10 out of 10. Actually, I knocked 1 point off because there was a couple of frustrating moments, but good game. I recommend it in general. But that's not the game we're here to talk about tonight. Tonight I'm playing a character named Kai, who, if history tells itself, will probably be down in the coming fights that we have. But he will hopefully stay out of harm's way. Fingers crossed, right? You
got a paladin now.
Yeah, I have a paladin, but I almost got attacked that one time. Remember, the two people attacked and missed. So Kai is gonna have to watch out. I need to get some more ranged spells. I need to take like Shatter or something instead of
everything touch
home spells.
Yeah. Hey man.
Yeah. Well,
AOE, take it.
Yeah. But he's a Order of Scribes gnome. He's from he's a sort of a revolutionary in a sense. He
quickly becoming one.
Well, he wants to bring about change without throwing the country into too much chaos, because he knows if anything drastic happens, then it'll throw all the nations of Port Air into chaos again and reignite the last war. That's something that he's actively trying to prevent, though he does certainly want to bring about change for the people.
And we won't escalate to multinational war until like season 3, maybe. We'll see how that goes. See if you guys can stop the threat of impending destabilization as I just completely decide to use my political science degree in a Dungeons & Dragons campaign.
Kai has a strategy. He'll bring it up when the time is right.
All right. Speaking of the paladin, we got you so you don't get all squished all the time. Nick, tell us about Flametongue.
My name is Nick. I play Flametongue. She's a paladin of the Order of Devotion, the Church of the Silver Flame, battle medic, and meat shield.
Big meat shield.
Yeah, large. Goliath. She's like at most 8 feet tall. It's a very large lady.
Nice. Right. And last and not least, our international correspondent and investigator extraordinaire, Dustin, tell us about Rel.
Yes, I'm playing Rel. He is a dragon-marked human. He's gifted with tinkering and making. And yeah, he's sort of an investigative type who's pretty insightful, but also struggles making decisions and wants to do the right thing, but like doesn't really know what that is exactly. You know, your usual confused type.
Sure. Dungeons and Dragons is rife with them. All right. As usual, that is our amazing cast. Last week, the party began in Drumkeep, yes? The last kind of bastion of the king's rule, apparently, in northern Breland. The mayor, very loyal and respectful of his nation and his king, stood in charge of an empty military garrison as the Countess from the neighboring Xandrar, a town just up the road, has been slowly kind of taking the forces from the garrison and installing them in the city. Was he a sergeant and a mayor? The mayor, the sergeant, and the garrison commander worried that all of his men were dead, that none of them had returned, and that they'd either all been captured or dead. This comes on the heels of apparently Xandrar becoming the kind of launching pad for a major operation put forth by the Swords of Liberty, your local Breelish, depending on your perspective, either terrorist organization or, depending on how Kai is feeling at the moment, potentially sympathetic revolutionary freedom fighters, which usually indicates they're backed by the CIA. And the party has set out to Xandrar, at least first plan to infiltrate them, kind of steer them away from their lesser kind of baser instincts and tactics into potentially a more fruitful, neighborhood-friendly terrorist organization that just wants to overthrow a monarchy and maybe not kill people in the process.
I'm gonna make a change from the inside.
Yeah.
Let me know how that goes. Setting off in order to investigate the missing Countess, who they had heard had been kidnapped while they were in the Dragon's Wood. Seeing some inquisitors of House Madani who had been sent to at least protect her for the one time the party saw her. They set out to find her and potentially infiltrate the Swords of Liberty. They snuck out in the night using a secret exit, came out into a field, walked for a decent amount of time, keeping the road far enough away that they can see the kind of comings and goings, but not be right up on it and have to interact with anybody. They saw trade wagons loaded with boxes every now and again heading towards Xandrar, identified as House Orion, the dragon-marked house responsible for shipping and other things. And along the way, they came across cries for help and a Orion driver shot full of arrows and surrounded by members of the Swords of Liberty.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I remember, absolutely.
And at this point, we will turn it over to the party, not having rolled initiative yet, but I imagine coming very soon. All right. So two of them dropped off on the far side of the bank from the majority of you. Flametongue had just made the crossing. One of them jumped out of a tree very close to Masaow, and also a group including Masaow, Kai, and Rel. The merchant still kind of sits in the dry creek bed with arrows in him, bleeding and screaming in pain. And just as they kind of jump down out of the tree and take notice of you, what would you all like to do?
Oh man, that's pretty messed up that they shot this dude with arrows, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, they're just up here hiding in the trees. They're obviously not friendly. I don't think we need to.
Well, so this guy, remember, this guy was from House Orion, which is closely tied to the king. So this could potentially be a way to try to bait out people who are in support of the king or the government in general, is what I was probably thinking.
Not very cool though, way of doing so.
Nope. But if we're infiltrating,
That's
we
not
gotta get our
really
hands
nice.
dirty.
Well, okay, so
That's true.
I think Jimi
Let's walk
Hendrix.
up and-
I think Jimi Hendrix said it best, and that ain't too cool.
He did say that.
And then something about Joe shooting. The lyrics are there. All right, so they jump down. Obviously, bow, arrows in hand. The two on the far side with Flametongue actually have their arrows knocked, not raised up at anybody, but ready to shoot quickly. And then the one closest to the other three of you drops down with a dagger clearly in his hand, but at least at this time, like non-threatening. Hey, what are you doing here?
wait, which one's speaking?
The one closest to you, to your group.
Oh, that guy.
There's an injured man in the river. We gotta help him.
He's just fine where he is.
It doesn't look like it. I can see the arrow sticking out of him. He's calling out for help.
He needs to be reminded of the future of this great nation and service to the king, and the old ways will not fly in our new world.
Wait, you are in your new world? You just shoot people who disagree with you? That's fucked up. And I pull up my gun and I shoot him.
Okay. Everybody roll for initiative, please.
Wow.
Ooh, big 4.
Big old 4, huh, there?
8.
Kai 8, Flametongue
Yep.
4.
God damn it, I'm as bad as my cat, knocking my fucking dice off of here. Alright. If I can remember my initiative being not great.
Ooh.
Yeah, there it was.
Okay.
So I'm at 13, Manny.
All right. Rel, what'd you get?
What did I get?
Yeah.
Oh, I got a 5.
5. Wow. Nobody wants to go.
No, I'm trying to avoid extremes.
I'm not exactly sure what it means that, like, I said I shot him and then I rolled a 5.
But we're saving our high rolls for our attacks.
Yeah, we want to save the good rolls for later.
You probably get a surprise round just for plugging
Yeah.
him without saying
Yeah,
anything.
that's what we're gonna do. All right. Let me. All right. All right. So we'll go. Depending on how, if everybody is on edge, not Rel, that the second he pulls the trigger, you all jump into action, or at least, highly trained special agents of the crown, then I'll give everybody like an action before we jump into initiative proper, which will be Masaow, the bandits, Kai, Rel, Flametongue in that order. We're already going to give Rel his surprise for initiating everything, and if the three of you feel like you jump at it like a spider monkey, I'll give everybody else one too. Let's start with Rel. Go ahead and roll to attack, please.
Okay. I will use because I'm cool like that. I'm gonna use my sharpshooter feat.
Okay.
Yep. So here we go. Hiya. Ooh, might not hit. A 12.
It does not.
Okay.
It's going to sail wide. Everybody else, let's start. I'm sorry. Is that it? Do you have anything else? The gunslinger.
No, dying.
Okay.
Only
Okay.
one action.
One dramatic.
Wait. Yeah. I think I only have one attack.
I don't know if you get like a bonus action or anything.
Well, I don't know. I've never played this class before. One second.
You're good.
Yeah, no, I don't. Not
Okay.
yet.
All right. We'll go by initiative. Masaow, you on top of your shit when Rel fires? You jumping into action?
Oh yeah,
Okay.
I gotta protect my heralds.
Okay.
You know.
So go ahead and give me your surprise round then.
All right. Let's see here. The guy that Rel shot.
Uh-huh.
I will do an Eldritch Blast on him.
Okay.
Holy smokes.
So a little,
From like 3 feet away.
yeah, little like white beam of energy just shoots out of my eyes. Wow, not bad, man. 24 to hit.
Yes.
It hits him and just like maggots are bouncing off of him.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's like being sandblasted by bugs.
Oh god, that is awful and awesome.
I know.
Your Eldritch Blast is more like a vomit of insects and
Yeah.
Let's see, what kind of energy is that? That's force. Okay, so 9 points of force damage.
Okay.
He is splattered by a dense beam of worms and maggots.
All right. That it? You only get one Eldritch Blast?
Yep.
Okay.
I just did a really good job though, so I feel good.
Okay. Very nice. All right. Kai, you on top of your stuff? Rel jumps into
No.
action.
no, Kai was ready to, try to infiltrate using this guy as a sort of pawn. So
I was willing to sacrifice this dude, so no.
yeah, I mean, Kai thinks the sacrifice would have been good since it would have ultimately led to a better country.
Sorry,
but,
bro.
Yeah,
Gotta
I mean,
take
he
one
wouldn't
for
have
the
been
team.
able to see it, but yeah.
All right, so you're gonna stay pat with no surprise round.
Yeah, kind of like opens up his hand. He's about to say something, and then he just hears like, and he's like,
Never mind.
"Fuck."
All right,
Yeah, he's
Flame
like, "Let me
tongue.
get my book out."
It's kind of going on across the way. It's probably good, maybe, I don't know, 50 feet away. So up that high, I don't know if your hearing's good enough to kind of catch what's going on. Then suddenly you hear a gunshot from a real quick draw because Rel's quick.
I'll
Flametongue gonna-
pull my great sword and use my channel divinity
Okay.
to make my weapon a sacred weapon. So I
All
get
right.
+2 on attack rolls, and it glows like white light energy,
All right.
and that's it.
Okay. All right.
Hear a gunshot and just get ready.
All right. All right. So they kind of taken aback. The two by Flametongue are going to ready arrows, and the one's going to dodge and kind of pull his dagger out. Masaow, you are actually first to go.
Haha. And I will. I'll walk up to the guy that I just shot with the Eldritch Blast, and
Okay.
2 worms come out of my mouth. and bite him. Or at least try to. Let's go ahead and roll.
Can we have one campaign where you just don't bite people as like a first option?
No.
No. I already knew the answer to that.
17 to hit.
17 does hit.
Yay. We got 8 acid damage.
Ooh.
From the biting worms shooting out of my mouth.
You're going to hear it sizzle and sounds like Alka-Seltzer dropped in a cup. What else you got?
That's it. Just a creepy laugh afterwards.
Okay. He is going to move up, take 2 rapier attacks.
I warn him before he does this that I am Caius's most precious.
And that's going to be a 16 to hit and a 21 to hit.
Both are correct. Are hits, yeah.
Okay.
Both are hits.
4, 8. You're going to take 12 piercing damage as he just comes at you twice.
Ooh, prison style.
Yeah, like just bah. Doesn't even like come up and like whisper in your ear and try to be cool about it. Like come and knife first at you. The other 2.
Oh, by the way, as a reaction, I'm going to use a spell that I've not used before. He needs to make a 14 dex save.
Let me see. Ooh, feeling confident. Hold on. Feeling confident. Dirty 20.
Oh.
All right, let's see here. Half as much on a successful. All right. So then he will take half of this. This is a hellish rebuke
Okay.
that is going to be worm flavored. So let's see here. So yeah, there we go.
Oh, that's a lot of dice, honey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah, it is.
So he takes 11 fire damage
Ooh. All right.
in the form of worms swimming up underneath his feet and biting on him.
Wormy fire.
Cool. Earthworm Jim. Got it. All right. That's going to be your reaction. The other 2 are going to see the large Goliath coming towards them and take steps back and take advantage of having bows.
Pussy.
Shit. It's going to be an 11 and a 12 to hit, so they're definitely going to miss.
No, sir.
That's going to be it for that. Kai, it is now your turn. The one closest to you is the only one that's damaged, and then the other 2 seem to be moving away from you.
Sorry, I was muted. So Kai is going to try to non-lethally pull the dead hand.
Okay.
The one that's damaged.
Yeah.
So the Dolores bells are tolling. I rolled damage instead of the actual attack roll. 1 second. Oh, it's a DC 14, but I forgot that
That's
it's
what I thought. Oh no. Oh no.
Is that a good oh no or a bad oh
no? That's, well, for me, bad. 6.
awesome. So he takes 7 necrotic damage.
All right.
Yeah, because I rolled it.
All right. So force damage, acid damage, fire damage, now necrotic damage. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
He's getting geomancers.
He has had a panoply of nasty things happen to him.
Yeah.
All right.
Nice word.
Yeah. Right. All right. Rel, initiator of combat. You see your boy not doing well. And then the other two, which actually are kind of probably maybe in play for you, seem to be running away from the party.
Stop them. They cannot leave.
You're muted,
You're
buddy.
muted, I believe.
Is that my turn?
Sorry. There's
Sorry.
like a divot here, right? Like with a river.
Dry creek bed, yes.
I don't know how much that's going to restrict my movement because we don't have like squares or anything. Would I be able to make it to the other side with 30 movement?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes.
So like I could get here?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to get there and aim my guns and I'm going to shoot at the farther away one.
Yeah.
If possible, I want it to be a non-lethal shot. I'm gonna
Okay.
try and shoot him in the leg or something.
Okay.
Yeah. How far away is he?
50 feet.
50 feet. Okay, cool. That's fine. And I'm gonna make the shot with advantage by burning a grit point.
Okay.
1 second. My D&D Beyond is closed itself. That's fun.
I was like, is it like Discord earlier today?
I think I just clicked on the wrong thing and then it closed. You know, I have got one of those fancy mice that has extra buttons, and I think I clicked the close window button, which you're like, why would I ever want that on my mouse? But anyways, here we go. So, let me burn a grit point and roll with advantage. Oh yeah, 23.
Yes.
That's 9 points of damage.
Okay. And with your very nice 23, I'm gonna go ahead and say you do hit him in the leg, and his movement speed will be slowed.
Yeah.
Very nicely done.
That is what I wanted.
Perfect. Good luck crawling away, you bastard.
Yeah, fuck you.
All right. Anything else?
Level 1, so not really. Let me just see. If possible, can I look over at the guy in the river and just see if he's like still in the same spot?
Yeah, he hasn't moved. He's very clearly not doing well. I mean, he's been shot like 3 arrows. But yeah, he's for the most part probably unable to like muster the strength to move.
I have one of these weird hunches, but I'm gonna leave it unspoken.
Okay.
Continue.
All right. Flametongue, you're on the other side of the dry creek bed. The one furthest away from you got a nice shot from Rel, so their movement speed will be slowed. The other one, still rolling with 2 good wheels. What would you like to do?
I'm guessing this is too far. I couldn't do my full move and then also take an action to get up on them.
It is 55 feet to the closest one.
Yeah, that's what I thought. So I'll just like run up on them. Just get all the way in there.
Okay. You're going to take the old dashy dash?
Yeah, and
okay.
Force them to either run away out of my threat range or fight close.
Okay. Well, one of them's probably going to want to run, but is, got a bum wheel currently. So don't mistake action for motivation.
Yeah.
Right.
And I'll shout something about the Church of the Silver Flame and cleansing the land as I'm running up there.
All right. Very good. All right. We are back to the top with Masaow. The one closest to you is officially bloodied. One of them's hamstrung up by Flametongue. One of them's doing just fine. Rel's taking a move. Kai's hanging out with you.
All right. Let's see. Where's the owlbear? There he is. Oh, he's right next to me. All right, so I'll go ahead and shoot poison out of my mouth right at him and
Okay.
make him,
Of course you will.
of course. So he'll have to make a 14 con save, right?
Just really barfing on a lot of people.
Oh yeah,
Ooh, yeah, we're gonna nail that. That's gonna be a 17.
Oh,
Manny.
What?
you're not allowed to roll well.
Also, like I said, we're getting better at combat and making it actually challenging for you, as opposed to just having you roll through 39 episodes of Rime of the Frost Maiden.
That's true. That's true. I do appreciate it until I miss. So he's good.
Okay. All right.
He avoided the cloud.
All right. It is.
So he just got regular puke on him instead of acid puke.
Yeah, he didn't avoid the regular puke.
Gross.
The hurt stuff, though.
All right. All right. We're gonna do this one by one. One of those closest to Flametongue is gonna dip out their 30 feet. Flametongue, go ahead and give me an opportunity attack against the one that just left, please.
And this will be +2 because of my sacred weapon.
All right.
Oh, but it doesn't. So 12?
No, 12's not going to get it done.
Nope.
All right. This one is going to get away, but half as far because of Rel's gunshot. Go ahead and make your opportunity attack there, please.
Oh, even worse. Oh my god. 10.
Okay. So they're gonna. One of them's. You're real tall, man. You can't bend over. You got a bad back.
Just
One of them's hunched
swinging it
over,
around.
having been shot in the leg. All right. So they're gonna take their distance. The one is very much going to shoot at you with their bow. That's going to be a 22 to hit. Yes.
Got him.
Okay.
Yep.
I don't know with you paladins sometimes. And you are going to take 7 piercing damage.
Okay.
The other one is going to roll with disadvantage because you're so close. That's going to be a 14 to hit. That is not going to do anything. And then the one closest to Masaow is going to take 2 stabby stabs. 24 and 14.
Yeah, geez.
Both of them?
Yeah.
14?
What do you think I am?
I don't know, man.
I have a robot.
I don't know if you get like bonus AC for biting things. That seems like something you would incorporate into your character. All right. You are going to take 12. You're going to take 20 piercing damage as comes in with 2 good shanks. All right, that's it for the monsters.
Both of the shanks go all the way through and pass out the other side, and I fall over.
Are you down?
I'm down. I'm not bleeding somehow, but I'm down. I'm unconscious.
Okay.
So,
See?
and just so you know,
You're welcome,
You're
Landon. See? It's Tenta's turn now.
I'm not alone. I'm not alone in the
I
damn
know you're rolling my death save, so
All right.
know that I have advantage on it.
Okay.
I have advantage on death saves.
Okay. Hold on. I gotta make a note for that. All right. It's the monster's turn. Kai. Yeah, it's your turn. Your boy is down in front of you. Mr. Stabby Swords of Liberty seems to be still doing okay. And then Flametongue's got the 2 him and Rel are after. What would you like to do?
I really don't have any way to help him at the moment. So I'm gonna try to pull the dead,
Okay.
aiming for a non-lethal option because I feel like we need him alive. Even if Masaow does fall, we can't let his Theros be in vain.
Just because he's
So-
dead doesn't mean everybody's got to die. Got it.
Exactly. DC 14 Wisdom save.
Ooh, maybe.
I rolled a 12
No,
on damage.
I rolled a 12. All right,
Awesome.
and this is the one closest to you, yeah? The one over with you guys?
Yes.
Okay.
So 12 necrotic.
All right. The ringing bell, you just see him like grab his head, and terrified. and it's just going to be so loud and such an agonizing scream that he drops to his knees, like unable to continue in combat, but very much alive, because my man had 13 hit points. So you wanted non-lethal.
Oh.
Good job.
Awesome.
All right.
Kai will also go up to Masaow. He has no knowledge in, how to kill people or anything. But he's just gonna see if, like, seeing this guy kind of be incapacitated, he's gonna see what he can do for Masaow in
I will
seeing what he can do.
give me a medicine check at disadvantage to use it as a bonus action, and you might be able to bring homie back, like, with the quickness.
Masaw's down,
Yeah.
and don't forget, everyone has a potion of healing. I gave everyone a potion of healing.
That's a good point, but I'll just rolled with disadvantage and got an 18 and 17 on the die, so 18
Okay.
was my check.
All right. So, Masaow, you are stable, still at 0 hit points, but no longer need to make death saves. But you still, can't really do anything until somebody gives you a little drinky drink or a little spelly spell.
And how many potions do we have? Because I never. put it in my-
Everyone has one. We were given 4
Oh.
healing potions, and I distributed it one to everyone.
Awesome.
It's just a
I
regular
never-
healing potion,
Yeah,
2d4 plus 2.
So steal Masaow's and pour yours down his throat.
Awesome. A supreme potion of healing. Got
Okay.
it.
No.
All
I'm
right.
just-
All right. So Masao's stable. Kai has belled homie to his knees, incapacitated. Rel, the hot shot across the way. Oops! I just realized everybody's out of frame. There we
Oh,
go.
we're out of frame?
Not you guys. The map was out of frame.
Oh, okay.
The
I
escaping
have a-
bandits.
have a question.
Uh-huh.
Does taking... Oh, that's why. Okay. Does taking or giving somebody a potion count as an action?
I will let you give it to them, as in, if it's Masaow, lay it on his chest so you can be free of it out of your inventory. I'll give you that as a free action. If you would like more than that, if you actually want to pour it,
Just trying to see how much I can do on my turn. That's all.
I know.
You're the boss. You tell me.
I will let you pour it in his mouth as a bonus action if, in the sense of urgency, you want to still shoot at disadvantage. So that's how
Okay.
that's how I'd let you do both.
I'll do like a running shoot.
Yeah.
Okay. I haven't actually looked behind me. I don't know of Masaw's condition. I'm gonna run to the guy in the water.
Okay.
And I guess I'll do a running shoot at this. Oh, sorry, I touched him. The guy that I didn't shoot.
Okay.
I'm gonna try and hit him as well.
Okay.
So the one that's not running away slowly.
Yeah.
Disadvantage. Yeah.
This one.
Oh wow. I rolled a 20 and a 15, so 22.
Yes.
Yeah. So max damage, that's 13 points of damage. And then I'm going to run to
Ooh,
this
very nice.
guy. Yeah. I'm going to run to this guy in the water. Is he dead?
No.
No. I want to very briefly, is he actually injured? Are the
Yeah.
arrows really in him?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, then I will take out my healing potion and sort of just shove it in his mouth, since this is like a quick thing that I'm doing.
He lies there.
I do the I'm run, bang, pop the cork, and then I get there and I'm just like glug glug,
as
choke him a little bit on healing
you
potion.
come running up on him, he kind of recoils away. No, I'm lost. Don't help me.
And then potion is shoved into his
Okay,
mouth.
all right.
He can't resist. He's dying.
Stop resisting. Stop resisting.
I'm good. Damn it! I'm a good person.
All right. Roll for the healing then.
Oh yeah, I guess I'll roll for some healing. It's 2d4 plus 2 if I can remember correctly. What a lucky guy. That's 9 points, one short of maximum healing.
He's very appreciative against his will.
I rolled a 4 and a 3.
All right. So very nice hurt and harm on the same turn. Very dynamic use of your full action.
If I'm down here and there's this big rock here, can I not see these guys anymore?
Not from there, no.
Yeah. Okay. How deep is this divot? Like, is it like just like 5 feet? Like it's
Yeah,
like that deep?
about 5 feet.
Okay. Okay.
It's only difficult terrain, like right where the water goes through, like that
Sure.
one square. It's not crossing
Where the rocks are. And
Yeah,
stuff.
it's not crossing
Yeah, yeah.
the entire gap.
Okay, cool.
All right, cool. Rel, that's it for you.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Very, very dynamic turn. Love it. Flametongue, it is you. You have your injured gazelle, just waiting to be tracked down, who is actually doing better than the one that Rel just blasted on his way to giving non-consensual medical aid. What would
All
you?
about the non-consensual medical.
What would
No
you?
consent required.
Yeah. I have a DNR. Fuck you.
helping you.
Revivify. All right. Flametongue, what would you like to do? Go after the injured gazelle? Well, at least
no,
mobility wise, the other one is actually more like injured in the mechanical sense.
That one's, but so it's not going to get away. So let's go after the one who's not immobilized or hurt.
And I was saying, you can get there.
Let's take a swingaroo. Oh, crit.
Uh-oh. Well, I mean, yeah.
So yeah, it's hit a 28.
Okay, yeah, so for nat 20, you're do full damage, whatever the math says, and then roll all the damage again.
Okay.
So if it's 1d8 plus 3, that's 11, and then you roll 1d8, add 3, and combine that with the 11, and that's the damage.
So my great sword is 4d6 plus 4.
Wait, what?
That's what it says. Is that like including everything in there? The other rolls and everything?
Oh yeah. It for D&D Beyond, when you roll a nat 20, it'll automatically apply.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
So
okay.
you can just do 12 plus the 2d6.
So 19 damage.
Okay.
Yeah. I forgot about that for a second there.
Whew,
but
I was
yeah,
like,
that's-
damn,
wait, how
dog.
did that, like,
Level
that really
4,
ramped up there
4d6.
for a second.
Bro, that's half a fireball. Every time.
Yeah.
All right. So
19.
yeah, you are going to just slash at this guy, genuinely fearful of what is essentially a giant chasing them down. Big heavy footsteps, big massive swing, big slash. What else?
And that's it.
Okay. Masaow still down, but no death saves, so good on you there. It is now the monster's turn. Again, let's get the old owlbear back up.
Good on me.
Okay, that one's that. The one who's up on Flametongue is going to take 2 dagger stabs. I'm going to guess a 7 and a 4. Not going to get it done. The other one is going to move a little farther away and then take a bow shot. That's going to be a nat 20 for me. 9 plus. Flametongue, you're going to take 14 piercing damage from an arrow of the hobbled one. All right, that's going to be it for the monsters. Kai, it is on you now.
So, I guess seeing this guy that Masaow is stabilized, and this guy seems to be incapacitated. I guess he's going to go and move that'd be about 25 feet there, right? Or about here, that's about 25 feet, isn't
Yeah,
it?
somewhere. Yeah.
Okay, and then that should be something like within 60 feet to attack, correct?
Of which one?
The one engaged with
Yes.
Flametongue.
Yeah. According to the map, it says 55.
Awesome. So, told the dad on that guy, he was just within range. I have 60-foot attack. So,
14 wisdom.
14 wisdom.
All right, that's going to be a 4. So no.
Awesome. So, I'm going to suck the vapor out, dehydrating him as the Dolores bells toll. And he gets
Damn.
some necrotic damage. 7 necrotic damage.
Okay. All right. Yeah, man. Creepy. All right. Very nice. Very much not doing well. That one. Go ahead and throw that up there. The other one's still doing okay. All right, Kai, is that it for you?
Yeah, that'll be it.
Okay. Rel, fresh from non-consensual medical attention, he kind of coughs it down. You're pretty forceful about pouring it down his throat. You were going to make sure this man was getting his healing. Kind of coughs it up, and you can see the kind of trickling blood and all of the major trauma healed up a little bit. He seems a little better. Still got arrows stuck in him. But breathing doesn't seem as labored. It doesn't look like you're watching the last moments of his life any longer. What would you like to do?
Yeah, I'm going to it looks like he's gonna be okay, right? Like I've probably saved him.
He's not gonna die in the next couple of minutes, maybe. I imagine long-term arrow survivability rate's not good, but it's not gonna be in the next couple of minutes.
Okay. I'm going to take my leave of him, make my way up here.
Okay.
I'm gonna run around the rock to see if I can see them.
All right.
And
They're perfectly lined up for you. Isn't that nice?
yeah, it could be. Yeah, sure. Well, yeah. I would see that opportunity and try and hit both of them with one bullet.
All right.
Burn another grits, and here we go. 17.
Okay, yes.
And then disadvantage for the guy behind.
Okay.
I can't see. Oh, geez. I rolled an 18 and a 20 this time.
Yes.
The disadvantage is a 25.
Yes.
Okay, so damage to the first guy is not very much, 4. Damage to the second guy is 6.
Okay. What was the first one?
The first one took 4 damage.
Okay. 9. Second one took 6.
6.
All right. Nice shot. Clear through both of them. So precise. Right through like a muscle. Didn't hit a bone or anything. So clear like through and through.
Pachow.
Yeah. Basically like a very dramatic like piercing through dude's like shoulder. The other one already hobbled. Can't really get out of the way. And just took a much more vicious bullet because he's very much not dexterous at this moment. All right. Anything else?
That is it.
Okay. Flametongue, you just watched Rel put a bullet through both of these dudes. The one in front of you, very much not doing well. And then the one hobbled, doing slightly better, but going nowhere fast.
Let's see if we can't finish the job on this one right here.
Okay.
Another 20.
Yes.
Nice.
I'm going to go ahead and assume that you're going to kick off the last of the hit points here, but go ahead and roll just so you can get a big number.
18.
Okay. Yes. So go ahead and describe your killing blow to this poor little unsuspecting terrorist.
Let's just overhand slash that goes right down the collarbone and ends like at his belly button. So he just becomes a Y shape.
Nice. All right. Okay. The crunch of the collarbone and all of the ribs as you systematically snap them one by one as your big blow from your 8-foot tall Goliath lady. It sounds like bubble wrap, just as all the bones cracked, just like somebody just tore bubble wrap.
Nice.
Yes.
I'll just take a second and look at the other guy that's crawling away and just point. You're next.
Give it the old Chung Lee while you're there. All right. Masaow, you're not dead. You're still stable. Nobody seems too concerned about you, but you could be on.
Really get that healing potion?
Huh?
If he really gave me that healing
He
potion,
did.
I should be about.
He gave it. Oh, he gave it to. He gave it to you like back then, but you're out. You're unconscious. You're just not dying.
So I'm at 0, not negative.
Yes, you're at 0, unable to move, but no death saves, no nothing. You're just chilling with
All
0.
My eyes are open and I got a big grin on my face.
All right. Totally content being half dead, but you're also next to somebody who's incapacitated as well. So they basically like weekend and birdies, like the both of you over by this rock. All right. So still chilling. The one monster left is going to take his bow attack. That's going to be a 15 on Flametongue, and I'm guessing that's a no.
Negative.
Okay. Tip of the monsters. Kai, it is your turn. One terrorist / freedom fighter to you still remains.
Yeah. Okay. So I can definitely move over here to the end of this tree.
Yep.
And then, has he taken damage yet?
Yes.
He has. Awesome. Then,
And it's 50 feet to him.
awesome. Toll the dad. I'm gonna grind this spell away.
That's going to be 18.
He hears nothing.
I mean, he's too busy dealing with his gunshot wound to the leg. Probably can't hear anything over his own screams. All right, is that it?
Yep, that's it.
Rel, you've got your injured boy trying his best to get away. Just bloodied, actually. What would you like to do?
Make sure. I'm gonna foolishly, actually, well, let's see. What do I got here? Let's see. I'm not good at it, any of these things. Let's see. Nope. Okay. I'm going to shout at him. It's gonna be like, well, actually, I'm gonna like make my way closer to him. So I was like here. How close do you think I can get to him?
It shows like 30 feet to be kind of just in front of Flametongue, according to the little ruler.
Yeah, somewhere about here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, I'm gonna, make my way up towards him. My gun's still drawn, and I'm just gonna be like, "You're injured. There's no use running. You might as well just give yourself up. Don't make me kill you."
Give me. Do you want to reason with him, or do you want to threaten him?
It's my character, so I'm gonna be reasoning with him.
Okay, then
Honestly, it doesn't make a difference.
Okay.
All the numbers are the same, but
um,
I am trying to reason with him.
give me a persuasion check at advantage since you were the one that shot him. So he does
Sure.
not doubt
That's
your
fair.
he does
That's
not
fair.
doubt your resolve.
Yeah. Ugh, well, 12, and that's good for me.
Look, man, I think I'm hella convincing. All right, you should listen.
Well, I mean, I don't know how hard
He's-
this is, but I'm trying my best. I'm like, listen, buddy, I've got my gun pointed at him. I'm like, I'm gonna shoot you again if you don't back down.
We have to take care of the plague carriers. He's sick.
Well, in this moment, I don't care. Drop your weapons and surrender. I'm so not intimidating.
Look, man, just come on, help me out. Look, man, I've had a rough day. Just do this for me.
Look, fellow man, we just gotta like take it easy, okay? Let's relax.
Relax and groovy. He's been shot in the leg. He's very much not doing well. He's watched his boy, one die and one that he can't see on the other side of the bank. So he's going to go ahead and, just kind of drop his bow. He's going to keep like trying to crawl and like kind of inch his way further. But he drops his bow.
I don't have a rope, but I'm just gonna turn to Flametongue and be like, tie that bastard up.
Speaking of which,
That's my turn.
all right. Speaking of which, Flametongue, it is your turn.
Oh, can I just say, I mean, I didn't take my action, unless you consider that an action.
No.
Okay, then I'm going to have my gun trained on him, and I'll hold my action if he makes any sudden moves or tries to run.
Okay.
To shoot him.
All right.
Yeah.
So I started blasting. All right. Flametongue, you saw this Swords of Liberty member kind of toss his bow. He is still trying to keep some distance between you, but is, as best you could tell, unarmed, shot in the leg, injured pretty, not doing well. He's had a better day. What would you like to do?
I'll go over and disarm him
Okay.
fully.
All right. You give him the old pat down.
Yeah.
Okay. You're going to find a rapier on him.
I'm just gonna chuck all this stuff.
Okay. And then
Leave it here for a child to find.
he throws, he takes off his quiver as he kind of keeps trying to like push himself away. All right. So dude's got no weapons, shot in the leg, otherwise injured.
So I'll pick him up like a baby and carry him over to the other guy. Start my way back over to the other side of the creek.
Okay. All right. We'll go ahead. All right. So you're gonna pick him up. He's gonna very loudly protest. You can't just help him. You've got to kill him before the virus gets him. He's sick.
So you just shoot him with arrows and leave him to die in a ditch?
That was the commander's call. I just
Are we out of combat?
ish.
Okay, well, if I can, I'm just gonna gag him.
Okay.
I could take a strip of cloth and just shut him up.
Okay.
There we go.
And
Much better.
He keeps like trying to point his head towards.
Yeah, we'll figure that out later.
Okay. All right.
Let's just make sure everyone's okay first, and we'll deal with the potentially sick person.
Okay.
Yeah, well, then you got to interrogate him at the same time.
Yeah. But let's go check. Let's check in, and so I'll head back towards Masaow and Kai.
Okay. All I'll let
Actually, I guess I will look in on this guy. That's what I'll do. I'll see if I can see them, and then I'll head and but I'll also check in on this guy and see if he's still.
You can see
lying there.
He is still lying there.
Uh-huh.
He has an odd smile on his face. Having heard the Swords of Liberty talk about him being sick. And you're going to catch a glance. Polar Knights, thanks for the follow. Really appreciate it. He's going to get like a wry smile about him. And he's going to say, he, like through the bloody cough and everything, he's right, you know. I got something in the Elden Reaches.
Sorry, the what?
The Elden Reaches. They're like the next country over.
Okay. I guess I'll get closer so I can hear him. Okay. All right. Well.
Someone should heal me.
What?
Medicine ability.
Yeah. I mean, I'm waiting for that. I don't know what you guys are doing, but.
Someone heal me. I have medicine abilities. And
Well, I'm just gonna. Yeah. I mean, at the moment, I will just. Hey. Don't worry about that for the moment. We'll try and figure that out.
Okay.
Of course, I said none of that. I'm going like. Ugh.
Oh yeah, Kai came down here. Kai will give you a potion of healing.
Okay.
Which will be is 2d4 plus what? 1? Or was it just 2d4?
Hit me. Hit me, y'all.
For some reason, I know I just put potion of healing in my backpack on D&D Beyond, but I don't see it. I must not have.
Then it's 8d8 plus 8 by default.
2d4 plus 2.
Okay.
So
Are you gonna roll it or shall I?
I just roll. You can roll it if you want. I'll let you before I say the number. I'll let you have. You want me to?
Yeah.
Or you,
If you're happy with what you roll.
Go ahead.
I rolled literally average.
Sweet.
So that's 7 then.
Damn, that's almost half my life. Back.
Take it. I'm gonna say take it.
Yeah, I will take it.
All right. So Flametongue carrying the gagged and protesting Swords of Liberty member. Rel having checked on the House of Ryan merchant. Kai having restored Masaow to a whopping 7 HP.
Yes.
Masaow, you're going to come up out of this. Things have changed dramatically since you were last cognizant of what was going on. And just as you kind of wake up, Flametongue and the Swords of Liberty member are going to make it back across the way.
All right. I'm gonna get up off the ground and start walking over here to the guy with the arrows in him.
Okay. All right. We're just going to go loosely through. So that'll be Masaow. Kai, what do you want to do right now? You've got your unconscious one from Toll the Dead, and then your crippled and gagged one. Flametongue, you dump him on the ground, or are you still holding on to him?
I'll set him like away from his buddy, and then I'll search the other guy and take his weapons from him.
Okay. You're gonna find just a rapier on both of them and a short bow on both of them.
I'll just chuck him in the bushes.
Throw them up high in the tree.
Yeah.
All right. Kai, what do you want to do? Flametongue's going to disarm them both. One of them's awake and gagged. The other one is taking a bit of a forceful snooze.
I will go to the one that's awake, and he'll ungag him. For the moment, he's tied up, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So he's going to ungag him and say, tell me what the real reason you were torturing that man was for.
Our cleric has been keeping to make sure nothing bad gets into Xandrar. He was turned away, and he points to the dead one, like over across the riverbank. Swore he was a spy, made us chase him down, thought he was just there to get everybody sick and poison the town on behalf of the king. And we followed him, you know. I don't have anything. I gave up everything to fight for my country, and here it is, me following somebody like this. And he was like, I'm not saying what we did was right, but he cannot be allowed to live.
If that is true, an arrow to the heart would solve your issues. Does it not embarrass you to torture a fellow Brayless man? That your own blood, you're torturing him, leaving him out to suffer just because he may bring a sickness? You could just kill him. That's what I would do.
It's not just a sickness. All right. Rel, real quick, as Kai starts to talk to your gagged one, the merchant begins to really hack and cough. Blood begins coming out. And what's your medicine score?
It's not terrible. I have a +3.
Okay, +3 is good. You would recognize like the kind of cough and the blood more from like an illness than from an injury. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
He stopped coughing up blood after you gave him the healing potion, and now he's back at it. But this doesn't look like it came from like an injury or like any kind of trauma. This looks like from an illness, tuberculosis, that kind of thing. Cough, cough, blood in the thing. So you can see him coughing, blood's on his hand. And as he can hear the Swords of Liberty talking to Kai, he's sitting there nodding.
I'm gonna ask him, have you not seen like a healer? Like, is this not a curable infection or disease?
I've tried. It's from the Underdark.
The Underdark.
I went a little deeper than I should, and I got something. Nobody at House Jurasco could do anything. I even stayed at that really nice hotel over in Xandrar, and nothing. I was hoping to get one last delivery, to get my family some money before my time was up.
Do you know what you have? Is it contagious?
I don't think so. I got attacked by myconids, and they blew some spores.
Do I know what those are?
You know anything about the Underdark?
Nope.
Then probably
it's not. I'm mostly involved in human investigation and city investigation.
You know about the Underdark?
Yeah, so I'm pretty sure I've heard of the Underdark, but I don't know what that is.
If Kai can hear it, which is kind of arguable because he's like 50 feet away.
Yeah.
But
Probably
if Kai
not.
can hear it, he wouldn't mind explaining it.
I mean, if you can hear at a distance of 50 feet from a man choking to death.
I can hear it.
Gnomes do have big ears.
Are they big or are they just big for the
Yeah. Are they
size
normal
of, like-
size? Just
Are they normal size
proportionally?
just on a small bird? Like,
Hey, bats also have small ears and they can hear really well.
I'm right, and I have a lot
I'm
about
gonna ask him who his family is.
Okay. Masaow, what do you want
Where's
to
his
do?
family? Where's your family?
I'm right there to
who's-
explain what a myconid is, and
Okay.
I know a lot about the Underdark.
Okay.
Okay, well, I'll just like I'm not interrogating him about what it is. I'm just
They're
mental note.
they're in Sharn.
Sharn. I'm familiar with what district do they live in?
One of the lower wards, the right next to the House Orion Depot.
Okay. What's the name?
Wilson.
Wilson.
Fred Wilson.
Do you he looks pretty terminal? Question mark.
He seems convinced of it.
All right. Well, I don't think you're gonna die today. There might be still hope for you. I wouldn't give up. Not if you have a family to go back to.
I'm not gonna make it, and I can't let him see me like this. And he grabs at his chest and like screams in agony.
An alien bursts out.
Coughs, and close. Oops. Hold on.
And he deletes Dungeons and Dragons.
And as he coughs, 4 tentacles burst out of his chest.
Oh, I was right.
And he just begins like spewing black, like something out of his mouth. And we'll keep everybody in the same initiative order. And we'll start with Masaow as like the tentacles burst out from this guy. And he kind of gets to his feet and just
I'll look at him and, brother?
Oh, Jesus.
Bro, did we go to high school together?
So he's a little taken aback at first, like, wait a minute. I thought I was the only one. But, all right, let me get up to the owlbear here. All right, well, so that's what it is, huh? That is the icky right there, dude. Oh, man, why did I zoom in on that icon? All right, I'll go up to it. Tenta's freaked out. Masaow is unbothered. And, I don't think I need to walk towards it now that I think about it.
It's probably a good plan.
Hold on. I'm used to being the guy with an axe. All right, here we go. I'll give it an Eldritch Blast.
All right.
Quiet, animal. God. All right, 23 to hit.
Yes.
And then 8 damage, force.
All right.
Worms and maggots in a beam.
And you're going to hit it, and the tentacles are going to kind of flail about as it just continues to just... excuse me. Kai, out of nowhere, while you're talking to your prisoner, loud agonizing scream, a monstrous like roar, and suddenly from behind the rock, Masaow is shooting bugs at whatever it is that's screaming, probably.
Yeah, Kai is going to run over there, like seeing whatever the hell it is. Kai is going to make his movement over here to check it out.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess that's what he's gonna do, is just like regroup with the party. We're not like taking action yet, correct?
Yeah, no, it's it's your turn.
Oh, so we're free to attack?
Yep.
Awesome. I didn't know if the bug thing was something specific for Masaow. But I guess Kai is going to. So Kai is actually going to use the Mind Sliver. So
Okay.
DC 14 int save.
Oh yeah, no chance. 0 chance. Yeah, no. It's gonna be a 7.
Awesome. So it takes 5 psychic damage,
Okay.
and it will have disadvantage on the next saving throw that it makes.
All right.
Aha!
All right. Rel, this thing kind of jumps up. Arrow's still stuck out of it like it was in its previous form, but now with a bunch of tentacles sticking out of its chest.
Okay.
And it is, yeah, not in the square next to you, but there's 5 feet of space between you.
Well, I would instinctually back up.
Okay.
I'm gonna like scramble up the hill, and is it like on the ground? What's its status?
It's stood up. It's still, a little kind of wobbly.
And like there are tentacles spreading out of it and everything. So it's like alive, but it's gross now.
Yeah, this might be
All right.
like a parasite come to bear.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I shoot the parasite bug. And I'm going to sharpshooter and burn my last grit point
Okay.
to give it advantage.
All right.
So here we go. That's not very good. Well, that's okay. It's a 15 to hit.
Yes, that will get it done.
Okay. That does 20 points of damage.
Okay. You are going to just plug a hole clear through this thing. The tentacles all go limp. The screaming, the projectile, whatever, comes to a halt as this thing is just going to teeter over and sound like a bag of wet socks when it hits the ground. Like half squish, half thud, definitely with some weight to it, definitely not appetizing. You're reconsidering our friendship right now for using that analogy. That's how like uncomfortable the sound is. As it falls dead, the Swords of Liberty member that Kai had been talking to. See, I told you. Now, just do whatever you want with me. You're gonna kill me, kill me.
This thing's dead.
Yes.
I clocked it right in the head.
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to approach the body cautiously. And can I just search his belongings for something that might be like a pendant or something that might be of maybe not money value, but value to him? Some kind of token or memento or
he does
coin
have
or letter.
He does have a locket. It's got the kind of logo of House Orion on it. And inside is a picture of like him and a woman standing in front of like a wagon cart.
Okay, I'll just take that.
Okay. All right. All right, Masaow, Kai, Flametongue. You kind of stayed put while everybody was going to investigate the sickly person. You still stand over the one that you've been manhandling around. What do you want to do?
I'm just going to make sure that they don't go anywhere.
Okay. You gotta stand, like, keep like a foot pressed on him real firmly. All right, so with that, we will say we are out of initiative and combat, save for the incapacitated guy and the one who is at least tied up.
I wrote picture of woman and I wrote worm man.
Worm man.
I'm being infected by ideas that are not my own.
Welcome to D&D. Yes. All right. So you still have the one who just seems to have given up. Kill me if you want. The one who's still unconscious, and then the one who's very clearly dead, and now the member of House Orion, the merchant, also dead. What you all like to do?
Can I ask?
Yeah.
I having lived in Sharn and stuff, what is House Orion?
They're deliveries and transportation.
Transportation.
Like,
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Are they humans?
Yeah.
Well, they're the people. Remember that lightning rail? That
Yes, they, like I said, they are it's the mark of transportation, I believe, something like that. They do the lightning rails, not the airships. A different house flies the airships, but they're also they're also like the delivery service from like one place to another. Wagon caravans. They're the people that you would hire to move something if you didn't do it yourself.
Okay. So we have 2 alive people. Yes.
Yes, in various in 2 different states of alive, but alive. Yes.
Yeah. Like their wounds are not going to kill them? Question mark.
No.
Okay.
When one guy's like unconscious, right?
Yeah. The one closest to Rel, closest to the tree, is unconscious and like sleepy sleep. The other one is tied up, and actually in relatively good health considering the others.
The one that's asleep, unconscious. That's the one I didn't see. Is it because of a spell?
Yes.
Okay. I think that we should just tie them up together for now. And I don't know, make it so that they can untie themselves, but like it'll give us a bit of an advantage. And we'll say, listen, I'm being very generous leaving you alive. I don't think what you did to that guy was very kind, but I kind of understand the situation. A bit of a misunderstanding, but maybe next time it would have been better to communicate instead of, it having to devolve into a situation where it looks like a bunch of bandits are killing some random person in the middle of nowhere. And I'm gonna be like, all right, we're heading to Sharn, but we don't want to have to hear about you guys again. Understood? Now I'm attempting to be threatening.
Okay. Go ahead and give. All right, give me intimidation.
Yeah, here we go. Oh, a 19, natural 19.
Ooh. Yeah, they've seen what you're all capable of. You put down the monster that they were afraid of pretty quickly. You killed his boss. You knocked out his coworker. Yes. No. We're just poor from up here, and the Swords of Liberty said they'd take care of us. We don't even believe. We just needed food.
Well, I suggest you make your way somewhere safer and maybe more kind, and don't follow us. And like I said, I want them tied up, but in a way that's like, okay, this will hinder them for like 30 minutes, and then they'll be able to like find their own way.
Okay.
Maybe when his companion wakes up, they can work together to get out of their escape room situation.
2-man
We'll
job.
just tie their bootstrings in like 100 knots together.
It's not very
Yeah.
effective. It's just really tedious.
Yeah, they just gotta.
What a
beat
pain
your
in the
brain.
ass. Yeah, we're far enough out that we kind of need our boots. We don't want to just take them off. So, okay, cool. Yeah. Yeah. And I'm like, well, I guess we should continue on our way.
We should.
Yeah.
Anybody else got any last little bit of business with the 2 dudes you're about to leave in the middle of the wilderness?
I'll give them some religious materials to read while they're out here as well.
Think about
Just
what you've done.
some pamphlets.
Yeah.
Masaow, you got some
Church of the
pamphlets?
Silver Flame,
So-
atone for your
We only
sins.
have worms.
You just give him a couple of worms.
Here.
Yeah.
Let these provide guidance.
Yeah, you're like
May-
you drop some worms on them. You're like, now think about that.
May the worms be with you, brothers. All right. Flametongue, religious material, Masaow, some worms. Kai, you want to leave them with any thoughts to ponder before you roll out?
Nope, I don't think so.
Okay.
I think he's got the basic gist.
Can I, when we leave, I'm gonna lead the group in a southerly direction, and
Okay.
then sort of, and then veer off and head back towards Xandrar. Not like I'm not making a huge effort, but just like a mild effort. Like once they're out of sight and everything, so maybe like walk for like 30 minutes in the wrong direction, and then kind of with a wide berth head back to Xandrar.
Okay. So you're going to be on the north side. I can go ahead and put the thing back up now. You're going to be on. So if you head south, you're going to cross over the road to the kind of southwest side of it.
So right now we're on the south side of the road. Or
You're
are we
gonna
on the north side.
you're gonna be on like the north. It's gonna be from Drumkeep, so it's the one that's gonna go about a 45-degree angle.
Yeah.
You're gonna be on like the north side underneath like Xandrar.
Okay, so we'll approach Xandrar from the more southerly direction
Okay.
instead of the easternly direction.
Okay. All right. Everybody good? We heading off to town?
Yep.
All right.
South
Yep.
side.
All right. You're gonna deceptively make your way, crossing the road, appearing to head in a directly southern direction towards Sharn, as Rel said. Eventually, kind of cutting back, and as you make your way to and across the road, the closer you get to Xandrar, you see more and more carts loaded with crates. The wagons carrying the logo of House Orion. However, the drivers and the escorts to the wagons are very clearly not. The gentleman you just encountered in the Dry Creek bed had the insignia, and for anybody who'd ever received a package or been to Sharn, they have a standardized uniform. Nobody driving any of these carts or escorting these carts has any kind of indication that they are for House Orion. And they are heading all towards Xandrar. Along the way, you will see signs that say, "The fight for our nation begins in Xandrar. The future of Breland begins now, and it begins here. Mercenaries for hire, or mercenaries wanted."
Oh, this is just like a pamphlet.
Like something you would nail to like a tree or something on the road.
Oh, okay.
To let anybody know that I wonder if there's work in the city up ahead. Here's something that says that they are currently looking for mercenaries in Xandrar, along with some patriotic type messaging. Right.
Like Swords of Liberty
Yeah.
patriotism, right?
Yes. The
Okay.
fight for the future of Breland begins now, and it begins here.
Can I take all those?
Sure.
Everyone that we come across?
Yeah, they're going to be every every couple 100 yards, so you'll probably get to maybe close to a dozen of them between where you start and before arriving in town. Okay.
Nice.
All right.
I'm gonna notice that and I'm gonna take one for myself.
Okay.
I'm just gonna shove it into my pouch.
All right. After a night and a little bit in the morning the next day, you will arrive on the shores of Silver Lake
This takes a sorry to cut
Go
you
ahead.
off. This takes a day, so are we short resting? Like, are we getting a short rest on this?
Yes, if you would like.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
Okay.
Yeah, I would like that.
I bet you would. A warlock who gets everything back on a short rest and went down the last time.
Yeah, very fortuitous for me.
Okay.
Yeah, I think we would obviously, if we were traveling overnight or something, we would make camp at some point
Sure.
and then rest a little bit. So
Is anybody else wounded at all?
I'm hella wounded, man. I have 7 out of 22.
I can heal you 20 hit. How many hit points do you need to be full? 15?
15, yeah.
Boom, you got 15 hit points.
Lay
Lay
on
on
hands.
hands,
Heck yeah.
Nice.
and I'll give myself some hit points as well.
I wonder if that burned your hands when you laid
And
them
they get
on.
real hot. It's,
Look,
I
God.
imagine, kinda
Look, God.
like
I need you to
Reiki.
help me with this. I know it's gross, but seriously, help your boy.
I have gloves on. I'll put gloves on before I touch the guy that pukes up bugs all the time. That still kind of creeps me out.
yeah, you're just like,
Look, man, I'm here to help you. Does not touch you.
Put a tissue over your whole body first. Okay, thanks.
you know, like those rimmers for toilet seats. You put a napkin on them first. You just put paper.
As you come across, you see the lake, the walls of a very old city. Come up, you're going to see adventurers and mercenaries lining up at the southwest gate, waiting to get in with what appears to be a Swords of Liberty member.
Can I
Standing.
ask a question?
Yeah.
I don't know if you've posted. Yeah, is this map east to west map, or is this a north to south map? Like, is the top part north?
Top is north.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's on the bank. It's not like on the east bank. It's on the kind of south bank, so that's where the water is. The map is a little
Okay.
dicey.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I always try to do orient things north south at the top just to
Yeah, I
make
mean,
it
it
easy.
makes sense, but
Yeah.
I wasn't sure.
Sure. So you see them lined up. What looks like a Swords of Liberty member with a scroll, and as people go up one by one, they ask what looks like a couple of questions. They take a little bit of information, and then you can see them kind of looking through the gates of the city, pointing to landmarks before sending them on their way and beginning with the next person.
Are the Swords of Liberty like regulating the flow of people into the city, or are they just like have like a kiosk set up at the gate?
Yes, it would be more of a kiosk. They're not stopping everybody from going in. You
Just
don't
who
have to.
wants to come up?
Just who wants to go up.
Okay, gotcha.
Okay.
So out, like, I assume we can observe this from a distance.
Sure. It's a large city. It is a big
Yeah.
gate. There is nothing to say that anybody who is a couple of 100 feet from the gate, not committing to getting into the city, looks suspicious. Yeah. People are milling
I
about.
say
doing all
we
kinds
just
of stuff.
have a casual conversation outside the gate now that we can see it from here, and I'm just gonna bring the group together and just say, I think that this is a good opportunity for us to play off as mercenaries. And like, I've changed my look a little bit. Like, I took off the colors and stuff. I threw away my vest and ribbon. I'm going to put my gun away, like pack it and try and like hide it. And I'm just going to equip I'm just going to kind of make my dagger more visible. So I'm trying to because guns aren't that super common. So I'm going to make it out like I don't have a gun.
Okay.
I'm gonna unequip it, and if everyone's cool with that, I think we should probably approach the kiosk. At the very least, it will draw less suspicion and could get us potentially some information.
Yeah, down.
All right. As a group, I'll lead the group towards the kiosk. I mean, or the like, yeah. And I assume there's a line, so I'll just get into line.
Okay.
What gate are we at on the
It's going to be number
two, right?
Number 2 in the southwest.
Yeah.
I didn't have to ask you guys which side to come up on because you made your decision by trying to lose, dude. So coming up, perfect. I was like, it makes sense. It was like, plus makes it easier on me. All right. So you're going to get in line. It seems to be about 12 deep before you all kind of get there. Everybody in line in front of you seems like relatively capable. They seem like a good prime age. They don't necessarily all seem very well equipped. These are not a large collection of some of the finest, most, well kitted out mercenaries. Some of them look kind of poor and like farmers, like they just kind of here for the opportunity that this may provide for them. One by one, you hear them kind of make their way through, a little bit of small talk, and after each one, they go inside and point to some landmarks along the city skyline. And just as it comes up to you, we'll go ahead and take our mid-show break right there. All right, it is 8:45. We're going to take about a 10-minute break, and we will come back just in time to enter the city of Xandrar. To Polar Knights, thank you for the follow. As always, to our amazing cast, thanks for coming out. I hope you're having a good time. And to everybody watching, thanks for tuning in tonight. We will be back in about 10 minutes, and hopefully we'll see you on the other side. All right, we are back after our break. Thank you for sticking with us. Before we went to break, the party arrived at Xandrar, the seeming kind of hotbed of Swords of Liberty activity. Everything they encountered on their way says that what should be a kind of secretive terrorist organization is existing out in the open, in full-on Swords of Liberty regalia, even displaying themselves prominently at the gate and through several kind of, wanted ads along the road. And the party getting together, seeing this as their opportunity to at least meet and greet them in less hostile circumstances, has waited in line. And as the last person departs, you can clearly hear the guy kind of say, and from your perspective now, you see that big house on the hill? Just get over there and you'll see what the future of Breland is like. Cheers, brother. Kind of sends the adventurer ahead of you on his way. Hey, an adventuring party. Very nice. Are you ready to save this great nation? Are you ready to show how patriotic you are?
Were we like the only adventuring group? Like, were we the only...
They came in like 2s or 3s. Nothing really big. A lot of them kind of came individually.
I'm gonna pull out the paper that said, like, I don't know what it would call it. The promotion. I'm gonna slam it on the table. I'm gonna say, look, we're businessmen and we're here to make some money. So point us in the right direction. We have lots of experience, and look at us. We're pretty well kitted.
Especially that one. He points to Flametongue. Well, we'd be glad to have you.
I wouldn't point at her again.
Oh, sorry. Save it for the tyrants. So, we'd always appreciate people fighting for the cause and being true believers. But in the end, money is just as good. The liberation of Breland will benefit us all. who cares how we got there and what your motivation was for fighting. Just want to come out
Who cares how we got there?
on behalf of a soon-to-be grateful nation for the patriotic stance that you're taking against tyranny. I and all citizens of Breland want to thank you, brothers, sister, fighting the good fight, dismantling tyranny and returning power to the people. It's like, all you got to do, he turns around, that big building on the hill, just on this side of it, you'll see large town square, can't miss it. You'll see what's going on. And thanks for fighting for this nation.
We'll fight for your right to party.
And
I'll say, awesome. I'm gonna leave the paper there because
Okay.
I know that we have a bunch. I don't need it now, and I'm gonna be like, we've recently completed some business, and we might need a place to rest. Do you know where a nearby area, a tavern might be that we could find some rest in?
Regal Manor is in the old town. Some say it's got magic properties. It's run by that dragon marked house that for hospitality. Supposedly they were the difference in the first war. They might be the difference in this one. But you get set up with the Brotherhood, and they could probably get you set up there for the night.
All right. We'll be on our way then. And I will march into the city.
Okay.
The place on the hill, is that the 5?
Number 5.
Number 5. Okay. And the inn that he talked about, he said it was in a lower city, or the tavern?
The older city, number 6 is going to
Number
be
6
is
is
going-
older city.
yes.
Where are we right now? What's it look like around us?
2. Everything here is going to have a very kind of like Brayllish aesthetic. The architectural style, the buildings seem not too old, probably built slightly before the last war. Everything seems kind of new, the streets wide. A very well-developed modern city, not like an older city that has just kind of gotten a facelift over time. Still got narrow streets, still kind of, old building dimensions. This part of the city seems very new, very Brayllish, and some nice homes. For the most part, doesn't appear to be a lot of businesses as you kind of make your way through the streets. This seems to be a more kind of residential area.
Okay. I'm gonna say I think it's best if we just head to the tavern, find ourselves a place to settle down, and we'll go from there.
Yeah.
And with no disagreement from the group, I will lead them towards the old town area. I'll just ask a random passerby, hey, can you point us in the right direction?
Yeah, so they kind of point you down the street. You're going to go through the east gate of into the old town, and then you're just going to go straight up the avenue. You can't miss it.
Okay, cool. Thank you. And I will begin on that journey.
Okay. As you make your way through the streets, they become very crowded. A lot of the people that you saw in line ahead of you and milling about the gates all seem to be moving through town in one specific direction, intermingled with, once again, fully uniformed members of the Swords of Liberty. And as you kind of make your way, the streets really begin to get clogged. You're having a hard time making your way through. And you begin to hear, cheering, like a group, kind of an affirmation. Yeah. And all these other things. And eventually the streets become so clogged that everybody kind of is brought to a stop in the middle of town. and you stumble upon a rally, or what looks to be a rally. There's a stage at the far end of this town square. The square proper is filled with Swords of Liberty and collections of the mercenaries also in line, potentially at the gate that you went through, possibly at the other gate of the city. And on the stage, you see somebody dressed in the most kind of common, basic Swords of Liberty robe, kind of a cloak. But instead of it being Swords of Liberty blue, this one is a very clear crimson red. All the Swords of Liberty members nearby seem to show a deference to them, kind of moving out of the way, listening, captivated as he speaks. As you make your way into the square, you hear them giving like a fiery speech. Who's tired of being ruled from afar by a family of millionaires? Yeah. Who's sick of the elite in Sharn telling them what to do? Yeah. Who believes in power returned to the people? Huge ovation. Today, the fight for the future of our nation begins. No longer will we suffer the tyranny of inherited rule, of the rich using the people as cannon fodder for their wars or as revenue streams for their pockets. We will return this nation to the greatness that it once saw, free of kings, free of gods, with determination of the people of Breland. And like a huge cheer from everybody in the crowd can be heard as you guys are free to kind of move around if you would like to get closer or move and
Can't even
see.
find. Oh, there I am.
Yeah, everybody's up in the upper left corner.
Masaow didn't take that free of the gods line very well.
Okay.
He immediately stiffened up on that one.
You said that like there's a bunch of people in the Swords of Liberty blue,
Yes.
but you also said there's red.
There's one person, the one speaking.
Oh, the one speaking's in red. Okay, sorry. I saw the people with the red like
Oh, yeah.
circles, and I was like, oh, like that looks like more than one person. Okay. So they're not wearing red. They're just other people.
Yeah, they're the mercenaries, the kind of people that you encountered at the gates.
Okay.
More or less the people you're kind of pretending to be.
I have a pretty sharp eye. How well can I see the features of the person in red?
90 feet. Go ahead and give me a perception check. We'll see.
Will do.
We'll see.
15.
Okay. Human, male, 50s, dark hair, kind of a hook nose. Doesn't seem particularly, beefy physically. Seems a little frail.
Okay.
But everybody, if you can see like the Swords of Liberty in the front row, or like the closest to the kind of stage he's standing on, they're standing there absolutely hanging on his every word, cheering the loudest, like just full on believers.
Is he recognizable in any way? Like, does he look like anyone of note, or just like this is just somebody I've never seen before?
It's nobody you've ever seen before. The hook nose is probably the kind of distinct feature.
Okay. Okay. I can hear him from here, yes?
Yeah, all of you. Yeah, the acoustics he's projecting. Yeah.
Okay. I will continue to observe.
Okay. Masaow, you're not happy with the world free of gods. Kai, what are you doing? It's gonna be a little hard. Everybody's kind of tall. Seeing. What are you doing while homie's giving his speech?
Kai is going to be walking around. So he's going to be kind of taking note of all the people. I know there's a bunch of them, but just like looking at the different people, he can pretty much guess every word that this person is saying. He does have suspicions that this may be either the Red Owl or a direct, like someone who would speak for the Red Owl, like a high-ranking member. But he's less so interested in that and more so interested in seeing if there's anyone acting, I guess, like trying to figure out ways to sort of make, quote unquote friends that would be in the that would be signing up, trying to like the more people can trust him and his group, you know what I mean? The more so he'll be like kind of talking with some of the people, like kind of agreeing like, yeah, we're gonna bring superiority to Breland,
And
stuff like that.
During the cheer lines, you're giving it your all. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly. So Kai is getting into it, trying to like get people to see his face and recognize him as a quote unquote loyal Breland.
Guys, I think he's betraying us.
Okay. Flametongue, you see this pseudo patriotic kind of thing going on. You, a devotee of the Silver Flame, not too thrilled about the idea without gods. What are you doing as you see this rally kind of unfold? You're going to have a perspective unlike everybody else, as you're going to be able to see clear over everybody.
I'm just gonna kind of lurk in the background a little bit.
As best you can, being 8 feet tall.
Yeah, as best as I can. I can't really
Hey,
hide.
down in front.
Yeah, well, I'll just kind of lurk about the edges over here by this little like merchant booth.
Okay.
But I'll just stand really close to this guy, just right behind him.
That AJ Styles Undertaker meme.
Just looming.
As everybody kind of makes their way around, Rel concerned, trying to get an idea of who the speaker may be. Kai kind of making his way, finding maybe a foothold amongst the crowd. Masaow a little mad, world without gods. Who's gonna bring the worm god back if you guys are gonna live in this world? Good luck with that. Flametongue trying to blend in as best she can at 8 feet tall. And all right, where did Kai go? Okay, Kai, from where you're still going to be on the ground and short, but everybody suddenly in your area, like over around here, okay, is going to start to move like towards this area. And as they kind of do this misguided, but at least, I don't know, like cheerful doesn't seem the right word, positive doesn't seem the right word, kind of tone turns to booing and hissing, and like you can start to see things being thrown as a changeling is led to the stage in chains.
Row.
You would all recognize him as Cass, Lieutenant Torfin's kind of on the ground fixer ahead of the arrival of Dark Lanterns. The figure in red, once the crowd is significantly worked up, throwing things at this changeling who seems pretty beaten and tied up. We caught this traitor just this morning out here serving the tyrants that keep you underfoot, hoping to report back to them to subvert the will of the people. Your will. And you can see Cass kind of look up and with that weird kind of changeling smile, kind of smile at him, proud of what the figure in red accuses him of. And as he does so, he looks up and he sees a familiar face. And to show you that he sees you, Kai, do you remember the last thing he said to you when you left him in that town?
I remember that I gave him the pictures of my family members.
Yes. So, as he sees you and makes eye contact, he changes his face into the faces of a couple of your siblings to signal to you that he sees you and knows you, Kai, and who you are.
Kai will message him,
Okay?
kind of like point at him and whisper, saying, "We're here undercover. We're going to try to make sure you get out of this alive." I'm going to try to. He's going to emphasize the try to.
If I can underline a verbal message.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
He receives your message and looks at you and nods. The figure in red continues. Come tomorrow morning at his execution, nothing will be left in our way. The new Breland begins tomorrow. Take him away. And as two guards pick Cass up by the arms, he looks at Kai and says, "Oh no, being held prisoner in the former Countess's mansion. What a horrible fate for me." And he laughs again as he's led off stage. Once again, the crowd booing and throwing things, and the whole time beat up, bruised, bloody Cass laughing the entire time as they drag him off down the street.
Was it the citizens of Breland in general, or was it the Swords of Liberty specifically that this block changelings? Like I remember something like a specific, like there was a specific. Like,
it's a general thing. It's a general thing that people don't really trust them. This thing has kind of less to do with him being a changeling, other than the fact is that he works for, works for the king.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
If it was the other way, it would have changed his tactics a little bit.
So yeah, it's because they know who he is. It's not like a racial thing. The figure in red kind of continues in the same kind of theme, seemingly in the way that stupid people are amused by the same thing being told to them in different ways, just so they can cheer and believe and be part of a crowd. He continues on and on, the crowd just going absolutely like crazy. Some people kind of coming and going, some leaving, after 10, 15 minutes once the kind of message becomes kind of, monotonous. Others joining in. You can always tell new ones by their enthusiasm out of nowhere. So you watch Kaz be dragged off. The guy in the red, just going on, just the full on like stump.
Oh, my
speech.
junk is so big. I'm a big man. Look at me, everybody.
Yeah. And everybody loving every bit of it. Let's just start. Masaow, you saw Cass. You recognize him as somebody who works for Torfin, who's helped you in the past. You saw him kind of come and go, screaming the location of where he was held. What are you doing? What do you want to do?
I'm going to take the knowledge that I got from listening to him yell and come over here to Kai and confer with him.
Okay.
Do you wish to go help Cass? He has helped us before. He's given us his location.
Let us think about it. The execution is supposed to be tomorrow, so it gives us some time to think of the best strategy to handle this. We should regroup with the rest of our party to discuss this matter this evening.
So long as the heralds are safe, then I will do my best to save Cass.
With these guys here, I'm gonna say, are we all together, or are you still in the crowd?
Yeah, I'll move back up to where like towards the entrance.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
Kyle will be making his way up there too.
And once we're all together, I'll say, all right, well, I think it's best if we continue on our way. Let's set up a base of operations, so to speak.
Okay.
I'm gonna lead them back towards the tavern.
Okay. It's on your way. Just this whole thing just kind of took up a big part in the city. You're gonna make. Let's go ahead and put the Xandrar map back up. So you make your way along through the more easterly gate into the old city, and as you make your way into this part of town, the buildings get a lot smaller. Everything is clearly much older, and the general aesthetic and style are uniform to itself, but not to a traditional Brailish city, and definitely not to the kind of aesthetic and style of the city on just the other side of this wall. Over here, things seem to be a little more kind of chill and like a regular city would be. Not as much kind of stupid people gathering kind of a thing. You make your way up two big avenues, eventually coming to what is clearly the nicest building that you've seen in this part of town. It is clearly not original. It takes up an entire city block. And depending on how well you travel in your life, it appears to be the nicest hotel/inn you have ever seen. The wood is beautiful. Everything looks to be gold fixtures. There is a line, and there are two very large half-orcs standing outside in front of the doors.
Oh boy.
At this tavern? Where we were going to go?
Yeah, the inn, yeah.
My specialty, talking to orcs, is...
I'm just going to approach and say, are you open for business?
You're not speaking to them the right way.
He's going to look
That's okay.
up and down. You on the list?
A list? No, we're traveling mercenaries, adventurers, and we are looking for a place to stay.
Red Owl's got the Regal Manor locked out just for Swords of Liberty members. We're all leaving tomorrow. She wants everybody here, everybody who's part of the Brotherhood, to get a good night's rest. So, future of Breland depends on them being able to stay.
We're mercenaries in the employ of the Swords of Liberty, but if you still won't let us in, can you point us to a place where we can, rest? We are allowed to rest in this town, right?
He kind of looks around real quick. Hey, come here.
I'll step in closer.
All of you, come here. And he opens the door, and as he opens the door, this very, like, beautiful floral fragrance kind of fills your nose. You get the sensation of warmth. And as it kind of washes over you, the orc looks at you. You feel that?
Sure.
Good. I can't let you stay, but I can at least do that for you if you're willing to fight for the cause. And everybody is going to get 10 temporary hit points as the magic of Regal Manor washes over you ever so briefly.
Do I feel the sensation of a magical effect coming upon me?
Yes.
Am I able to resist?
If you would, I'm gonna go with no. It's how this dragon marked house like rose to prominence.
Right.
You can't help but feel welcome.
Like it or
Yeah.
keep going.
There's a shit ton of pineapples over the door. They are welcoming the fuck out of you.
Wow.
Okay, so he opened the door and we felt magical blessings. And then he closed the door?
And then he closed the door.
Okay. And I'm like, well, thank you. I mean, we are here to help fight the fight, but we're not immortal. We do need a place to sleep.
Sure.
Does he point us in their direction?
Yeah.
Or I say, listen, and I'm gonna like kind of step in close and be like, listen, maybe you know somebody who could sell us a place. You know, we're adventurers of some renown, so we do, you know, we probably could afford a small house or something like that.
He reaches in. He was like, Swords of Liberty have been seasoned properties of Crown loyalists.
Okay.
He was like, I bet you. He's like, they don't even know who's in them or not. And he like kind of points and kind of like go down this way and kind of make a left here and turn right there. He was like, nice house, fountain in front, can't miss it.
Okay.
They seized it.
So you're saying there's some empty houses over there, yes?
Yeah. And we
Let's
can't
go be squatters.
we can't let them stay in the hands of traitors to this nation. So
Fair enough. Is there is there a place where we could, you know, make a legal purchase? Because as much as that option is definitely enticing, we want to make sure our money flows to, you know, the proper sources to help fund, you know, the effort, right?
right on. I don't.
Okay. Well, that's fine. We'll go and look around, and thank you for your help.
Yeah,
and
of course.
I give him a small pat on the shoulder, since, you know, I'm sure he's much bigger than me.
Fight the good fight.
Yeah.
And as kind of turn away, you can see one of them kind of eyeing Flametongue as she walks away, and then you can hear them kind of murmur to each other.
Oh yeah. Oh, I wanted to be dominated by a big lady one day. You know. Yeah.
The word snoo comes up.
Snoo. Yes. Cool. Well, I'm going to, you know, obviously we can't get in here. Like,
Oh, hey, those guys that we're talking about. Oh gosh, I can't. Our paladin, Flametongue.
There you go.
mhm.
Are they heading towards the inn there?
They're staying at the door.
They're blocking the entrance.
Yeah, they're bouncers.
All right. Is there anybody walking by that happens to be going in, or
Oh, it was full, right?
Yeah.
so no one's going to be additionally
No.
going in?
Yeah.
No
No.
ins or outs.
Not unless we camped outside and there's a latecomer or something. It sounds like they're having a meeting or something.
It does. All right, never mind. I can't sneak in like that. Well,
Yeah.
I have the disguise skill. All right.
Well, see, I'll say we stepped aside, and I'm like, I want to set up a place so that we can, start our infiltration, but we need a base, so like somewhere that we can go back to, so that if we get separated or something like that, we have a safe place to hide out for some time.
Find
It sounds like there are abandoned or liberated houses, so it sounds like we should probably just go find one of those. But let's try and find something inconspicuous.
Yeah,
Not the big fancy house with the fountain, like he said, but something maybe that won't draw too much attention with people coming and going.
find something hidden.
Yeah. We're not here for comfort, so let's do that. So I will take his advice and head in the direction of where like he was talking about places that had been emptied, and I don't know, look around for a place that's small and abandoned, but like comfortable and not too hard to get to.
On the glass of the house with the fountain, you can see a little bit of like blue paint in the corner of the door. Just across the street, a much more smaller and humble house, kind of a 3-story stacked little house. Also has the same, like I said, the house is over here a little smaller than you're kind of used to.
That's 3 stories.
Yeah, 3 little stories.
Okay.
3-story sheds, not that impressive. I
mean, depending on who you talk to.
True. Kai thinks it's spacious.
Yeah,
Look at these high
I live
ceilings.
in a 500 square foot apartment. A 3-story shed would be pretty good.
Yeah, look at these high ceilings.
We get top bunk.
Yeah. But it seems to have the same kind of blue mark on the corner of the door as the one with the fountain. Can
I look at the blue mark? Is it paint?
It is.
Yeah. Comparing the 2 doors, is the mark? Is there a lot of people around?
No.
Okay. Comparing the marks in the 2 doors, are they in the same spot?
Yes. They're consistent with each other, and it's not like a big, it's not like the Passover streak of blood down the middle of the door.
Right.
It's like it's just a little bit like in the corner, in the same way that you would use kind of
sort of a Liberty colored.
Yes, and like in a reminiscent of like kind of a basic spycraft move.
Okay.
You're secret agents. You know a little bit about those things.
Yeah. Is the door unlocked?
Yeah, both of them.
Okay. I'm gonna open the door and I'm gonna signal the group to go in and take a look around.
Okay.
I'm gonna stay outside though. I'm gonna close the door once they're inside. And if there's nobody watching and nobody in the alley, I'm gonna take some time to remove the mark on the door.
Okay.
I'm just gonna use my dagger to sort of like, it's not gonna be the best job, but I'm gonna scratch off the paint and just kind of make it look like no paint's there.
All right. Kai, Masaow, Flametongue, you gonna let him shoo you inside? Anybody want to stay outside? Anybody want to stay outside with Rel?
I mean,
I'll sit outside and just stand guard, kind of.
Okay.
All right, I'll head on in.
Kai?
Yeah, Kai will head on in.
Okay. They're going to shoo you in. Flametongue is going to kind of stay watch. Rel's going to try to scrape the paint off the door. As you go inside, the place has been tossed. Books ripped off the shelves, all the furniture kind of tossed, the cushions cut open. It looked like there's like some broken plates. There's some blood on the wall. It looks like there was a struggle in here to forcibly remove whoever's house this used to be. Everything looks to be like pretty fresh. There's still food on the table. It's not moldy. Doesn't look disgusting. It looks a few hours old, maybe. It's 3 stories. It's a very modest home, but it seems well insulated. All the glass is intact for the windows. And aside from it looking like somebody got kidnapped out of this house. Everything on the inside seems pretty cool.
Nice.
All right.
Well, Masaow will head on in and just start busying himself with picking things up and just kind of tidying it up.
Okay. Kai, what do you want to do once you kind of get through everything?
I will probably go to his bed. It's been a long hike to Xandrar,
Okay.
and he's gonna, get out his old rock, his little river rock, and kind of just hold it as he relaxes and thinks to himself, waiting for pretty much everyone to get settled in before he has a discussion on how to handle the changeling situation.
Okay. Masao's going to tidy up. Kai's going to kind of get ready. Flametongue, you stand outside. It doesn't look, you yourself are conspicuous as hell. Like, let's be real.
Yeah.
Any kind of odd glance or gaze that you get, it doesn't appear to be based on like what you're doing. Nobody seems to be like, hey, what the fuck are you guys doing over there? It much more just seems to be just your physical presence. A couple of people kind of come and go. Nobody stops too long. They seem like normal citizens too, not this kind of pseudo militia, adventurer, mercenary kind of class of people. They seem to be just regular citizens of the town. And they just kind of give like either a quizzical or like a wondrous look, and keep moving around. After a couple of minutes, 10, 15, nobody kind of comes out. Doesn't seem to be anything. And you can start to hear Masaow kind of picking things up and tidying up inside.
I'll do a real quick perimeter check, and then I'll just head inside.
Okay. Around the house, the only door that you can see on the ground floor is the front door, the one that you've been standing in front of, that Rel's been scraping the paint off of. Aside from that, there seem to be windows everywhere, but this seems to be your only point of entrance, egress, or that kind of thing. This is the only thing. As you check the perimeter, you make your way inside. Masaow kind of tidying up. Man doesn't like to live like a slob. Good for him. Kai's got
Harold.
Kai's got a rock. Looks like he's got something to say.
Yes. But he'll just wait till everyone.
Yeah.
Is ready. Yeah.
I'll use my body to block the doorway.
Boom. All right. So we're back. Little quick break. So everybody has made their way inside, Flametongue included. Rel, you managed to scrape off the paint without kind of damaging the actual paint of the door. And now it looks like any other potentially non-seized home of the old city of Xandrar.
Cool. Let's see. I'm going to just double check and see if anyone's observing or watching or whatever. And then I'm going to head inside.
Okay.
And I'm just say all right, I think we'll claim this as our own, and if anyone asks, we should just act like we've purchased this, and we're mercenaries, and we got the money. Yeah, I think that's the best bet for now. At the very least, hopefully nobody thinks that loyalists are in here, since most of this area looked like it was deserted anyways. But this way we won't have to pretend that there's nobody in here when clearly there's going to be comings and goings. Okay. What time is it?
It's going to be getting on like late afternoon.
Late afternoon. I think that for this first night, this first day, rest of the day, that we should observe the town, wander around, and gather information. Potentially even split up. Maybe go and buy some supplies and gather information, and then meet up back here to formulate a plan as to what we will do next.
Not a bad idea. I still have a butt ton of gold, and
Yeah. So maybe we can find some scrolls or some potions. Maybe somebody's willing to loosen their tongue for a little bit of money, and we can find out, where places are and stuff. We're not under any time constraints in terms of like the Swords of Liberty. Like, we don't have to like go and sign up right now or anything. So, and at worst, we can just act like we're mercenaries who just made a bunch of money, so we're celebrating.
yeah, what do they know?
Yeah. And since I'm gonna assume it's like 2, 3, 4 p.m. That should give us some time to like see if there's any stores open or anything before everything closes, and get some information. Maybe Masaow, you can go and see if you can find us potions and scrolls or herbs or anything like that, since that would probably fall under your area of expertise. Maybe Flametongue, you can look into seeing the status of any churches or temples or anything in the city and see if you can gather any information about that. And Kai can probably go and look into find out what happened to the people in these places, if they're dead or if they're in prison or something like that.
I will nod his head. He thinks that sounds like a good plan.
A brief information gathering / shopping quest, and then we will take a plan of opportunity. I'm going to locate the Countess's manor, since apparently that's where somebody's being held, and if not, where the Countess might be herself, and scout out the place.
Okay.
Sound good?
All right. Anybody have anything to add? Everybody like this plan?
I like it.
Yeah, I'm down.
We don't have anyone like tailing us. We're not in any threats.
No,
So this is a good opportunity
yeah.
to split up the party and gather more information. That way we can come back together and make a plan.
And you're in a large town, so you'll be easier to kind of blend in.
To hide.
All right. Hearing now the party's plan, we're going to go ahead and call it there tonight, so I don't have to make all of this up on the fly. And this way, very well spelled out for the Dungeon Master, who's very appreciative.
What can I say?
Can custom a little bit of a story to everybody next week. All right, so that's going to be episode 10. We are cruising along to the finale. Happy 10th episode, everybody. We celebrated those in the first campaign, so happy episode. Happy 10th to us all. The party's going to take some time. We're going to do a little urban adventure next week. With the season finale coming very quickly. I'm very excited, mostly because I know what is in store. You saw them play these great characters for 3 hours. Behind them are even better people. We'll get a little bit about themselves. We'll do a little channel business, and then we will get out of here. Let us start with Kai. You seem to have a very well-formulated plan for extracting Kaz should you encounter him, and it is totally fine. I have no problems with it. You're in this town. You've seen kind of the Swords of Liberty acting like out in the open. What's Kai thinking? And then tell us a little bit about Landon.
So Kai, the biggest question on Kai's mind is, should they save cast? Because if they more or less ensure his doom, then they can pretty much guarantee a trusted spot within the Swords of Liberty. Like, let's say they break into the quarters like they would save him, but kill him, then they can see them kill Cass. That'll show, hey, we wanted this guy dead. He works for the king. Instant trust is what Kai is thinking. But at the same time, Kai does not want to kill Cass. If Kai can do things peacefully. So he wants to talk with the party about if what the best action would be, because Kai doesn't want to bring harm to Cass, but at the same time,
I don't want to, but look, homie,
opportunity.
you might gotta die so I can prove the point. Sorry.
Yeah,
The old Benjamin Stark. Got it.
Yeah. So, but anyways, I'm Landon Baker. I'm a software developer. I am married, and I have two big puppies. They're Saint Bernards. One of them's 186 pounds. The other's 132. Between them and D&D, it takes up most of my time. The only other thing that I really do as a hobby is video games. I beat Elden Ring. I think I said that earlier, but
Nice.
it was a really good game. So any sort of fantasy game, I'm usually pretty interested in. So I've had a lot of fun with it. I do want to say, as always, I appreciate this group. It means a lot to get to play with you all every week. I know today I wasn't like 100% focused. I've been pretty tired from all the work and stuff that I've been doing past little bit, but I still had a blast. I'm still, super glad that I got to play with you all, and I look forward to seeing you all again next week.
Awesome.
And the fans too.
Thanks. Awesome, buddy. Let us move to Rel. You are slowly becoming a real estate tycoon in acquiring property. Kind of set about the plan. Going to do some recon in the city. What are you hoping to find out? And then tell us a little bit about Dustin.
Yeah, I mean, this is where I'm at my most efficient, gathering information and creating a plan. So, even though plans always tend to fall apart, they're always a good course of action to start with. At least it points you in the right direction. So, yeah, get to find out what's really going on in town and find out where people are so that we can make an plan of action.
Nice.
My name's Dustin. I work in the service industry. I serve up the beverages and the food. And yeah, things are a bit crazy in my city because our restrictions have rolled back basically. There's basically none now. Not quite, but we still wear masks and stuff, but we are allowed to party and dance and mingle and all that stuff, mainly because everyone here is vaccinated, so it's good. Yeah, big surprise. We basically don't have any cases because everyone's vaccinated.
Good for you.
Yeah.
It's fucking weird how that works out.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, and I am pursuing. I'm having my midlife crisis. Not really, but I am attempting to pursue my goals in life, which potentially include independent video game design. So
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. You got your QA team right here, buddy. Awesome. Thanks, buddy. All right. Flametongue, the enforcer, the lookout, the scout over crowds in busy city squares. You've gotten here. Somebody who works for your boss, Torfin, who's helped you in the past, wants you to help them. Devotion Paladin. What are you thinking? And then tell us a little bit about Nick.
Well, I mean, I know this guy, and he's given me orders and stuff in the past. So I'm probably going to help him. If I know he's going to be executed tomorrow, probably have to figure out some way to rescue this guy. 'Cause that's just the person that Flametongue is. Real devout follower of the rules.
That's right. Paladin, buddy.
And my name is Nick. I'm a chef. I'm married. I have a little pug dog, and I love him like I would love, I'm assuming, a child's that I bore myself. I don't know, but I don't have one of those either. So
It's like a
I like
dog
cats.
they're like dogs that learn to talk. It's pretty rad.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. My wife is a nanny, and so yeah, we have kids around all the time. So yeah.
And like 3 years of potty training rather than.
Yes. Yeah, that part.
But yeah, that's it. I'm glad to be here. Thanks for having me. Episode 10. Looking forward to episode 11.
Awesome. Last but not least, our devout follower of the worms, whose biggest offense today was hearing that the Swords of Liberty wanted a land with no gods. All the terrorist stuff, like, look, man, we can look past that. But the land with no gods sounds like absolutely fucking not.
Yeah, that did not strike a good chord with Masaow.
All right, so Kai might not have the ally in the helping of the Swords of Liberty, or at least there's a new point of contention when you assume management of the terrorist organization.
Well, yeah. Kai is not so interested in the Swords of Liberty themselves as he is.
I don't want the entity. I want the people and the resources to do my version of Swords of Liberty. Swords of Liberty Light. Diet Swords of Liberty.
Well, just he wants to bring about change in a more peaceful,
Sure,
less terroristic way, which he's willing to break a few eggs to get there, but calculated.
Cass potentially included. Masaow,
Potentially.
what are you thinking about Cass? You gonna let him die? You gonna help him? He's helped you help the heralds in the past. Does that count for anything?
It does.
Okay.
If I'm able to help him out, I'll help him out. If I have to protect the heralds and let him die, then that's how it is.
Okay. All right. And then tell us a little bit about Tenta.
I'm Tenta. I am 38. I'm married. I got 2 cat children, which is pretty awesome for me. That's good enough. And I like pro wrestling and metal and all kinds of fun fighting things and slap fighting, especially. I'm still kind of hooked on that.
Dumpling. Dumpling is my boy.
Dumpling.
That guy's awesome.
I still would do that, by the way. I hope to find some sort of like American slap boxing ring.
I'm not gonna. It's got to be by weight. It's got to be by weight class. I'm not letting some dude who weighs like 270 slap the shit out of me. Like, give me a dude that's 6 feet tall and weighs like 145 pounds, and I'll wail on him in the same way he'll wail on me. But I'm not gonna hit by some dude named Dumpling, ironically, who's shaped like a fucking bowling ball, or like the boulder in Raiders of the Lost Ark. No, I'm not letting that dude hit me. For $600, that's the grand prize. Fuck off.
No, sir.
All right. Slap boxing aside, that's been episode 10. Like I said, a big kind of thing. I like round numbers for us here. We are getting close to the season finale, so be sure to tune in the next couple of weeks as we really ramp this up. We've got a lot going on. We're in a big city. There's a terrorist organization. We might save a friend. We might not. We might save the Countess. We might not. We kind of forgot that she's missing still. So yeah, that has been us tonight. You can join us tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Eastern time here on twitch.tv/GrowedUpGeek for our high-level limited campaign Dynasty of Dragons. Also a very big episode of that tomorrow night. Remember YouTube videos Monday and Tuesday afternoons. If you don't watch us then, come back and see us next Tuesday, 7 p.m. for episode 11 of Eberron Tranquility's Twilight as we make our way to the season finale. To Polar Knights, thank you for the follow. To everybody who watched, thank you for tuning in. To our amazing players, as always, thank you for being here so I'm not rambling at myself. And we'll see you all next week. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye!